I usually get up at 6:15. I have a shower and I get dressed. I don't have breakfast, but I get a cup of coffee at the station. I normally get the 7:30 train and I get to work at 8:45. I always check my emails first. I don't get a lot of emails, fortunately. By 10:30, I start to get hungry, so I usually get a cake or something from the cafeteria. At 10 to 5, I get ready to leave work, but I get home quite late, at about 7 p.m. Then I usually get changed into my jeans. It's a long day. It's okay, but I don't like it in the winter, because it only gets light at about 8 a.m., and then it gets dark again before I leave work.
I live in a first-floor flat. I live with 2 flatmates. We don't own the flat, we rent it. Our landlord lives in the flat above us. The flat's furnished, so the furniture isn't ours. It's in an old house, but it's got central heating, and it's very warm. Unfortunately, it hasn't got air conditioning, so it can get too hot in the summer. We've got a fitted kitchen with plenty of cupboards and a new oven and fridge. We've all got our own bedrooms, but we share the other rooms. We share the rent too, of course. The bedrooms are small, but the living room is quite spacious. The flat isn't very convenient for the shops, but it's in a nice location and it isn't noisy.
My name's Jason. I'm an undergraduate student at Newcastle University. I'm studying for a degree in law. It's a 3-year course, and I'm in my 2nd year at the moment. In my 1st year, I had a room on campus, but I live off campus now. I share a house with 5 other students. On most days, I attend 1 or 2 lectures. I take notes, and then at the end of the lecture, the lecturer usually gives us a reading list and an assignment. A week later, we have a seminar in a small group. One of the students has to read his or her assignment, and we talk about it. At the end of our 3rd year, we'll take our final examinations, and if I pass them, I'll graduate. I'll get my degree certificate at a graduation ceremony.
My name's Bella, and I work for a film company. I'm an assistant to a director. I do photocopying and make appointments, and I make a lot of cups of coffee too. I don't make a lot of money, but I'm doing a job that I really enjoy. I've made some good friends too. It isn't all fun. At the moment, we're making a film about a hospital, and we have to do a lot of the work at night. I really want to be a film director, so in my free time, I'm doing a course in film directing. It's quite hard. I had to do a big assignment last week. I'm not doing anything today. I'm going to do a bit of housework this morning, and then I'll probably do some exercise later. But first, I'm going to make a few phone calls.
I enjoy driving, but I've given up going to work by car. The traffic's terrible, and I can't stand sitting in traffic jams. I don't mind going by train, because I can read. In fact, I've just finished reading War and Peace. But the trains are usually crowded. I try to avoid travelling in the rush hour, but sometimes I don't fancy getting up that early. I can't imagine doing it for years. So I've decided to look for a new flat. I really want to find a place near my office. Then I won't need to use any transport. I hope to have a look at some flats this week. My sister has offered to help me. I don't expect to find one straight away, but when I manage to find somewhere, I plan to sell my car. I promised to sell it to my sister. I think that's why she's helping me.
When you arrive at the airport, make sure you go to the correct terminal. A lot of airports have more than one. First, you check in at the check-in desk. When you've got your boarding card, you go through passport control for international flights. Then you have to go through security, where they check your bags and coats. After that, you wait in the departure lounge. When your flight is called, you go to the departure gate and board the plane. On the plane, you find your seat, put your hand luggage in an overhead locker, then sit down and fasten your seatbelt. When all the passengers are on the plane and everything is ready, the plane takes off. During the flight attendants serve drinks and meals. The pilot usually gives some information about the flight and the weather too. Before the plane lands, the cabin crew check all the passengers' seatbelts again.
My name's Nina and I work in an office. I get my salary monthly. It's paid into my bank account directly by my employer. I spend most of my salary on essentials like rent, food, clothes and transport. There isn't a lot left after that for luxuries, and I try to save something every month. I keep my savings in a different account where I earn interest on my money. I'm saving up for a car at the moment. It's taking a long time, so I might apply for a loan, but the interest rate is quite high and I can't afford it at the moment. I don't go to the bank very often. I pay bills by direct debit, so the bank pays them automatically. I use my card to withdraw money at a cash machine. I usually check my account balance and transfer money from one account to the other online. When I buy things or eat in restaurants, I normally pay by credit card.
Hello. My name's Dora. I'm 35 years old and I'm from Croatia. I live in the city of Dubrovnik in the south of Croatia. I'm an accountant and I work for a company that makes office furniture. I'm married. My husband, Rudolf, works in a hospital as a radiologist. We've got 2 children, a son and a daughter. In my free time, I play tennis, I do yoga, and I go sailing with my family. I like listening to classical music too, and I like watching soap operas on TV.
In July last year, 3 people robbed the Gold Mine jewellery shop. 2 men and a woman stole watches and jewellery worth over £80,000. There was a lot of publicity about the crime because the robbers violently assaulted the shop's owner, Mr. Hall. Fortunately, several witnesses saw the robbery. The police soon arrested the 3 people. They went to prison for robbery and assault. The victim, Mr. Hall, said, "Those people have committed so many crimes. They are very dangerous criminals. I thought they were going to murder me."
What's your friend like?
She always does the right thing.
She's a sensible person.
He always finishes his work on time.
He's very reliable.
She doesn't mind waiting for things.
She's very patient.
He's won a lot of prizes, but he doesn't talk about them much.
He's very modest.
She found some money and she took it to the police station.
She's an honest person.
Everything on his desk is always in the right place.
He's very tidy.
She always looks happy.
She's a cheerful person.
He always asks for things nicely.
He's very polite.
She's always ready to help if you've got a problem.
She's very kind.
He loves meeting people.
He's a sociable person.
She doesn't worry about things.
She's very easygoing.
He wants to be the director.
He's an ambitious person.
She's good at understanding people's feelings.
She's very sensitive.
He always defends his friends.
He's very loyal.
I've been doing the same job for 7 years. It's a good job, but I'm getting bored with it. Actually, my boss is leaving soon, so I could apply for her job, but I'm tired of going to the same office every day, and I'm not afraid of a new challenge. Anyway, I was off work a few weeks ago because I was suffering from flu, and I had a lot of time to think about it. When I was better, I started to look at job adverts in the newspapers, but all the jobs were similar to the one I've got now. I talked to my wife, and she said, "What do you really want to do?" I said, "Well, I'd really like to be a sculptor. I've always been interested in art, and I'm good at painting. Last year, I took part in a summer school on sculpture, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that my wife would be worried about money. We've got 2 young children, and we've just moved house. But she agreed with me. "If you wait for the perfect time, you'll never do it," she said. So last week, I decided to leave my job. This time next year, life will certainly be very different from now.